Hello and welcome to TelecomTV. I'm Martin Warwick. We're here in The Hague in the Netherlands at the SDN NFV World Congress, and I'm talking with Uwe Pecis, who is Edge Cloud Lead at Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. Uwe, welcome.
Thank you, Martin.
Been a while. Let's begin with this. Why are CSPs putting themselves through the pain and the trial of network transformation with virtualization? What is the ultimate benefit to them? There's an awful lot of trouble to go to.
Well, if we look at the very early stage of the adoption of the NFV technology in the CSP world, the first objective obviously was to cut down operations costs and get better in executing the daily business. While by now we see that what they need to achieve is to get more agility in the network, being more flexible, and being able to cope with the speed of the industry, which is requesting new services from telecom service providers. And if you put all that together with the introduction of 5G now, where we're going for service-based architecture, at the end of the day, the final objective must be that we have a high flexibility in the network and help telcos to be easier to deal with for enterprise customers, because enterprise customers are requesting new services, and the lead times we have been experiencing in the past for the introduction of new services were costly for the operator itself, and maybe not to the full satisfaction of the end user in the enterprise business. And if we're looking at 5G, we believe that having a high flexibility and fast adoption rate of new services, which are requested by enterprises, are one of the key objectives we have to achieve with the introduction of NFV.
Thank you. Do you find that the customers that you deal with, the operators and so on, know that it's worth the pain that they're going through for the end result? Obviously,
that is the case in situations where the operators have targeted the transformation right end to end, right from the beginning. I mean, there's not so much adoption yet in the market, but where the operators tried to focus on dedicated areas, which are maybe a little bit more confined, not going directly right in the beginning for an end-to-end transformation, but the transformation executed as it should be, taking into consideration all the objectives and all the different layers, like for instance also introducing DevOps agility in the process and bringing all these elements together. Then we see that at least the reduction of the operational costs has improved, and time to market has improved as well. So we have good proof points that for operators who have been doing that, we see first results which are looking very, very promising.
How exactly will the adoption of SDN and NFV help CSPs, operators and communication service providers transform into DSPs, digital service providers, as they look to reduce their commercial reliance on basic connectivity services?
I mean, if we take the example, for instance, of SD-WAN, we have some proof points that operators who have fully implemented a virtualized software-defined network and put it in combination with value-added services, where again the target is the enterprise market, they have achieved such a high flexibility in provisioning and making available of services that they can really go for the next step, and maybe even having a little bit more bespoke services for enterprises, in a sense that if we talk about edge cloud, which could be at the end of a software-defined network, for instance, enterprises have specific needs which we as telco providers or as equipment providers don't necessarily can satisfy ourselves. So we need to open up that environment to be easy to work with with external parties who are providing industry-specific solutions, which we have to combine with the network specifics which are needed in order to put them in position, let's say, in an edge device. And to bring all that together, you need to make use of the possibilities offered by the SDN technologies and by the NFV technologies, the virtualization. No matter whether we talk about virtual machines or containers, I think that is an overheated discussion and it's not so important. It's more important that you have the full flexibility in the network and you offer the ease of collaboration to the industry partners, and that's what's achieved at the end of the day by adoption of the SDN and NFV technology.
So that's the background. You explained quite a lot, and we'll move on to Edge Cloud in more detail in a moment. But before then, what are the results that you're seeing so far? Is there evidence? Can you give us a couple of use cases or examples where that you proves that transformation is working?
As I said earlier, transformation is best working if you have a chance to look at that end to end and do it for an entire business process or for an entire use case. And the most successful ones we've seen so far is in the enterprise market, the adoption of the UCPE and SD-WAN technologies in combination with UCPE and value-added services, obviously, and early cloud edge applications which you can put on the UCPE. And here we have examples where service providers have been able to drastically cut down their operational costs in running the CPE and dramatically been able to improve the time to market. The objective is to come down from months of deployment times or for introduction of new services to very, very short time frames. And here we have seen extreme examples. If you really go for the agile approach in such an environment, the benefits can be quite huge.
Let's talk now about Edge Cloud. You mentioned it 2 or 3 times in the past couple of questions, and Edge Cloud automation. There's always something new and something buzzing in telecoms, and one of the things that's come up a lot in the past months has been Edge Cloud and Edge Cloud automation. Why is it so important, and why is it at the top of the agenda now?
I mean, particularly if we talk about HPE, it's on the top of the agenda because it's an enterprise strategy of HPE to go towards Edge Cloud. Now, why is that the case? It's the case because we see a tremendous momentum right now in our enterprise market where enterprise customers are asking us to put applications on the edge, or to make it even more simpler, to have an ecosystem where we can offer cloud services wherever they are needed. And that is not at any point in time, it must not always be the same location for the application where we need to put them. And that is why we are putting that big effort as Hewlett Packard Enterprise behind the Edge Cloud strategy. So making Edge Cloud services available everywhere and making it easy for enterprises to consume it, because they're used to very easy way to adopt cloud technologies by experience, from the experience they have with the OTTs, for instance. And we have to open up that environment, and that's what our customers are requesting. And talking to the enterprise market, we believe that we have a very good understanding on what the enterprise needs, and we are trying to satisfy that by our Edge Cloud approach. And the way we need to offer that needs to be very, very simple, and it needs to be very, very fast and agile, because adoption of agile technologies like CI/CD and DevOps is a reality in the enterprise market. As a consequence, we experience a high frequency of change in the flavor of the applications we need to deploy and we need to set up. And in order to satisfy that, we need a very high level of automation. That's also the reason why we are heavily engaging in the ETSI ISG for ZSM, for Zero Touch Service Management, and we are contributing particularly to the automation part and the intent-based modeling, which we are having, which we're contributing to that community.
Let's come back to HPE now for a final question, Uwe. Why is your organization, why is HPE a good partner for operators that are targeting the edge business?
Yeah, so the edge business, there's 2 flavors of consumption of the edge. One might be the consumer, applications you may have on the edge, and that's a wide ecosystem, and a lot of possibilities we have here, we see in that environment. That's also what we are presenting here at this exhibition this week. But the other more important element for us is our enterprise customers, where we're offering an end-to-end portfolio, and we can bring that to the edge. So we have the necessary technology available, service in all form factors, from the data center to the edge. And last but not least, the entire networking portfolio we have on the enterprise side, and that needs to be brought into combination with edge compute. And in order to orchestrate all that, we have a very long experience in the telco industry as a service provisioning platform, as an orchestration platform, as an OSS platform, and also some core network elements which are available from Hewlett Packard Enterprise. And in the Edge Cloud offering, we are trying to bring all that together to make life easier for our customers.
An interesting topic area, and obviously one that's going to grow. Uwe Pecis, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Martin.